Hey guys, welcome to the last week's special podcast. I know it's been a while, but here we are. We finally got everybody
hmm
together and we can do this again. I'm here with Jed
Hey,
and Con,
Good days.
and here we are. So, what's up, ladies and gentlemen?
well, I got my internet back. Yay!
Hey, it is our
Yeah,
our first podcast because of that in
Mm-hmm.
since
yep,
when,
you
like
should tell that lovely story.
August.
Yeah.
Because, oh my gosh.
So here's the rundown. So no, this is good. I do not like this company, my service provider, but I had a new baby. I got a baby girl,
Yay.
Hey.
and thank you. Uh, the family we took her from is still on the search, but we're hanging out with them.
Tearing down those and looking for posters.
Yeah, milk cartons. Nah, just kidding. So, yes, I have a new baby daughter, and I had this bright idea. I said to myself, like, hey, we're not happy with our per month cost for internet service because the fees just kept getting higher. So I said, let's do this. We have to be in the hospital for like a week anyway, so I'm going to just cancel my service. And then after like a week or 2 weeks, I'll sign back up, get the new customer rate, get locked in for that price for 2 years, bada boom, bada bing, it's all good. Get this. So I sign on to their website, and you can sign on as a new customer on the website. Do through all the crap that you got to fill out. You submit it, and it's like, we can't seem to verify your identity. Could you call this number? So you call the number, and you speak to a rep. He's like, yeah, it's weird. It's like we just can't do the credit check. Like, oh. Now here's why I think that happens. Because if you sign up online, you get like a $200 prepaid Visa. It's part of their promotion.
Nice.
Well, coincidentally, when you sign up online, they just can't seem to verify your identity. But then the guy on the phone's like, hang on, let me try something. Oh, it works now. Okay, we can sign you up. Do I still get the Visa card? Well, no, that's an online only promotion, and since we're doing it over the phone, like, I
Dodgy.
said, well, I'll just try again later then. So I tried with Catherine's, my wife's social security number. It didn't work either. Same bull crap. So now seeing I got really no choice, call and get signed up. They said, okay, we'll have the tech come out there like in 1 week. Sounds great. All right, schedule it. That week comes, I'm home. You can imagine me. I'm at the front window like a happy puppy. I'm just waiting for that guy to come, tails wagging, looking at all the cars as they drive by. Tech does not show up. I call a couple hours after he was supposed to be here. They said, oh, well, I'll reach out to him. And then they called me back. Yeah, he just had too much to do today, so he couldn't make it out. So can we reschedule? I'm like, I guess. I was like, okay. All right, so according to the tech schedule, we can come back out there in 2 months. Like, are you kidding me? 2 months. And I said, okay, fine, whatever. Tech comes, or the day comes. I'm still here. I got my day off work. I'm waiting for the tech. Guess who doesn't show up? The tech. Nobody comes. Call up again. They go, yeah, they just got so much work and they're so short staffed out there. He says he can try to come out next week. Okay, next week. Same series of pattern. You see where this is going? If I told you they scheduled me for a third time, what's going to happen? You guessed it. He never showed up. So this time I call a manager. And they're like, "Oh wow, yeah, that's so weird. Well, we can give you a discount on your first bill." I go, "Hey, when do you think I'll get that first bill?" I'm like, well, I guess whenever they install it. So I guess what, in 6 months? I'm like, nervous laugh. uh, there's way more to this crap fest. If this was on TV, nobody would believe it. It's just too unbelievable. It's such a cartoon of failure from this internet service provider, missing install dates, getting my information wrong. And here's one of the best parts about this is that every time I would call to tell them that the tech did not arrive, they would say, "Well, it looks like he tried to call you. What number did he call?" And then they would give me a telephone number that wasn't mine. And I'm like, "Why did he call this number? When I signed up, I gave you my cell phone number. It's the only number I own. Who is he calling?" And they go, "Oh, I don't know. I'll update your records." So then when he misses my appointment for the second time, he calls that wrong number again. I called back and go, "What number did he call?" And they confirm it. They read off the wrong number. I'm like, "I've already been over this. That is not my number. I don't know why you have it there. Get rid of that number. Use this number." Third time, same thing. Calls the wrong number. So whoever he's talking to must be just either hanging up or they don't know what he's talking about. And he's just like, "I guess I don't have to do any installs. So, like I said, if this was written into a TV show, no one would believe it. They would just like, it's not even funny because it's just there's no way they're that bad." Like, yeah, I found them.
It's insane that
Yeah.
any company could be that incompetent. Like
They
I
are.
didn't believe it. It's
Yeah.
insane.
And like I said, there's more to it. I'm going to save it for even more stories because I could fill up 2 hours
Yeah,
of
I'm sure.
the incompetence, the conversations. The fact, like, on the second time I called, I was on the phone for 45 minutes
Ugh.
just to get rescheduled. They would call me in, I give them my information, and they would patch me to the rep I'm supposed to talk to. Then I talked to some rep, and this lady was in the city. So I guess they can take calls from home. So I knew she was in the city because I can hear some like little 4-year-old yelling at the TV. And it was noisy, and I thought for sure I heard a police siren in the background. So I went, "She's in the city." And then she's like, "Okay." You go, "You just wait right here. I'm going to check your records." I'm like, "Okay." And so she puts me on hold, never comes back.
Oh my good lord.
I literally put my phone on speaker. I set it down next to me. I'm just on the computer, which again has no internet, so I'm just looking through like the 7 default wallpapers that Windows gives me to look at. I'm just
Ooh, the
scrolling
text
through 'em.
screensaver.
Like, "Hey, that's really nice. Oh."
Pretty.
I forgot you could do that. Just watching the counter, and then finally I hear it pick up, and then it goes back on hold, then hangs up. So I'm pretty sure, I can't confirm, but I'm pretty sure that she picked up to see if I was still on there, realized I was, said, "I'm not doing it," just hung up.
100%.
So that's what I've been dealing with. Point is, it's working now. Knock on wood.
Well, you had to
Pray-
rewire it yourself, right? You
Yeah,
do like
I had to do that.
rewiring.
Yeah, all the tech had to do was come out and just reattach this wire to my phone box. And then, I mean, obviously activate the service from there.
Right, right.
But the whole point of the tech was to come and do that.
Mm.
And so I was like, I can't do this. So I looked on YouTube. I saw a couple people that did it themselves. I went on eBay. I bought this special phone filter, and I got these special clips that connect the wires together. And then I did all the wiring myself. And then I call them up, and I go, "Look, it's done." And I go, "Oh, let's test it." "Hey, look at that." I was like, I just love me. With that said, turns out my ISP are probably on the verge of bankruptcy anyway, because apparently they sold like their entire divisions in like some 6 states just a few days ago. So they're
Well, so
apparently,
what will you do if they go out of business? You'll be screwed.
yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just up to whoever buys them.
And that's just the thing about the U.S. Internet, man. They can do that because they have the monopoly of your area. They can just do
Yeah.
whatever they want. And
It's
you
like-
can't. You've just got to play ball with them.
Listen, you ever seen South Park when they did that whole episode about net neutrality?
Oh, I've heard about it. I don't think I've ever
Yeah.
seen it, but yeah.
There's a scene, I did not watch a lot of South Park, but I saw the clip because it was a hot topic at the time, and a coworker showed it to me. one of these characters on the show is calling Time Warner to complain about his internet service. Time Warner's on the other end, and as they're complaining, this Time Warner rep takes his shirt off and he's rubbing his nipples with his fingers. And he's like, "Oh, well, you can go to another provider." "Oh, there aren't any providers? That's too
Yeah.
bad." He's just rubbing them. His nipple. It's like every time he explains why they can't leave him, he's getting turned on by it. You know, like, your internets aren't what's advertised? That's too bad.
Gosh,
Just-
it is so insane. And I had to deal with it because I live with my parents and it's under their name. So anytime I needed anything, I had to pretend to be my dad or they wouldn't talk to me. Every time.
Mhm.
And one time I didn't because I just wanted info. I was like, I want to know if the tech was coming that day. And I called them and I gave them the info of the house and the address, and I was like, I just need to know if the tech's coming. And they're like, we can't tell you that. And I'm like, you can't tell me yes or no if a tech is going to be arriving at the house. He's
Like, what do you
"Nope,
think I'm
we
going to
can't tell you."
kidnap this man?
I'm like, so like the next day I called. I'm like, yeah, I'm him. And they're like, you sound so young. And I'm like, yep.
Yep.
Thank you. I take good care of my voice.
I do that trick all the time as well. The other person on the other line doesn't care, I'm sure of it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's not like they're going to turn
Yeah.
on a webcam or something or have you insert
Yeah.
like DNA through the phone. As long as you verbally confirm it's all they can do. I had a person at work tell me once that he had signed up to Final Fantasy Online, you know, that real crappy MMO back when it was on the PS3.
Yeah, when it was like trash.
Yeah. His girlfriend at the time put her credit card onto his account. Well, they
Lucky.
had a falling out, so
Oh.
he was going to just take her credit card off and put his credit card on, but they wouldn't talk to him because he wasn't her, even though he was owner of the account.
Yeah.
So he went through like the motions 4 or 5 times. I guess he got finally up to a manager and they're explaining the same thing. Well, I can't take it because, you know, we need Ashley to come on and confirm with us. You know, she can do it. He's like, I'm Ashley. And they paused, so they went, you're Ashley. And go, yes, I'm Ashley. Take my credit card off. Yeah, okay. So they took it off. Like, that's all they wanted. They
I'm
just need
Ashley.
vocal confirmation. Like, dude said he was Ashley. Like, who are we
I
gonna
mean,
say?
I know there's a male name's Ashley, so why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all they.
It'd have been funnier if he was like, I'm Ashley.
like,
Just
hang on,
suddenly
I'll go
changes
through.
his voice.
Oh. Just- like, oh no, like, just do it. Just do it. You know everyone's jumping ship on this game anyway. I'm actually trying to add a credit card. You should be thankful.
Yeah.
So yes, anyway, I'm back. Ta-da!
Hey,
Whoa.
we
Yeah.
can.
With that said, I got also a promotion at work.
Hey,
Ooh.
Yes,
cool.
thank you, bowing, I'm bowing. So I am working third shift now. When I'm done with my training, I'll be working 3 days a week, 4 days off. So I'm going to be streaming a lot more on those days.
We can
So
all play
expect more
together again.
activity.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Expect more activity.
We'll have lots of gamings. No, whatever we're allowed to afford,
Yeah.
which is actually
There's
nothing.
always those conditions.
Oof.
Now I am sad.
Yes. Send us money.
So, how about you, Con? What's going on with you?
Oh, God, me, everything. Everything and all the things all together. Actually,
All at once.
I mean, the biggest things was probably my trip when I went to Malaysia and Singapore. That was fun.
Oh yeah. Wow.
I needed a holiday because I was losing my mind and I hadn't left this city in like a decade. And I needed to just go. And since the savings didn't work out for the Disney World trip to Florida because, well, my job
Pretty
ended.
expensive.
Yeah, I needed about 12 grand. I got to 9
Good lord.
and then my job ended. then they gave it to a teenage girl because they realized, oh shit, Con was actually doing too much work and now we're being flooded. Should we get him back? What? That's too logical. He's in a different department now. We don't want to upset him. Like, yeah, fuck you. Anyway, so I couldn't do that. I'm going to rant if I think about them. And the second plan was Japan, but I didn't really have enough perfectly for that. Technically I did, but not for the areas I wanted to go to.
Yeah.
So I settled on Malaysia, because my friend's always going there like 2-3 times a year, and he keeps saying, let's go, you know, you enjoy these places and stuff. And I'd never really considered it. Like, I don't think there's anything there for me. So I ended up looking online and I found all these places that sounded really cool to visit, like temples and caves and all these other things. I thought, whoa, this place actually has a lot of really nice touristy things that look really cool. So yeah, we went. There's a lot of people there, and there were a lot of toys. I actually put up a whole bunch of photos that I took on the Patreon. There's all the photos. They're all there.
Nice.
Well, I deleted a bunch of extras, mainly because, you know, I thought these don't look as good, or I took 20 pictures of this specific one, so I just kept one. You know, I got the room, why not? Just make sure. It's like when I went to the aquarium. They got a huge one there too. The light is really low, and you're not allowed to use flash. So, you know, basically photos won't come out too well. So I had to sit there playing with my camera on the manual settings to get and it came out really good, so I was happy.
Oh yeah, you gotta use your new camera too, right?
Yeah, even though I'm not a super duper camera professional, I learned enough to make things easier for me, and I had, I think, 4 lenses with me, so they were different.
Right.
A lot of fun, and I had my video camera, so I took although I did take, with the video camera I left it at the 4K setting for video.
Probably took up a lot of memory.
It did, but I still had plenty of room because I bought a bunch of 256 SD cards. And I probably should have left it at 1080, I think, mainly because so many factors. But either way, it's fine. I'm going to compress a bunch of those and put them on Patreon. I put one though. I think you would have seen it by now, the big music that was happening outside my hotel window.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's there. It was huge noise, like concert level. I don't know what it was for.
At night? When you were trying to sleep, or just during the day?
During the day, just for this specific thing. It
Right,
went for
okay.
about 3 hours, something between 7 to... I left that area at about 10, so I don't know if it kept going. But it was... I didn't know. That was a thing they do there if someone dies. It's like a thing. I don't know.
Like a service or something?
Not a service, like a remembrance
celebration?
or yeah, maybe celebration.
Okay.
I didn't really look into it too much. I just had no idea what it was, and I was like, what the hell? And I went downstairs. What is that? And they're like, oh, person died. Like, excuse me?
I like know nothing about Malaysia, honestly. Like, nothing.
Yeah, I knew nothing
How
as well.
was how's like the pricing and stuff? Did you find it very expensive?
No, super cheap. You would buy, oh god, you could get meals for like $3.
Wow.
If you go to a restaurant, and obviously it's going to be a bit more expensive, you know, maybe 8. And if you go to the posh places, then you're talking, you know, 15.
Yeah, that's still not bad.
Yeah, I gained, I think, so much weight.
Yeah, I'll bet.
I was eating non-stop. I think in one area, I ate, in one day, sorry, I ate at, I think, 5 different restaurants. I'm not talking about takeaway places. As in, you go in, sit down, they bring food to you.
Uh,
And then
Yeah,
include
but-
takeaway in between all that.
We don't call that like gorging. That's just experiencing culture.
Yeah.
You're going there to experience the culture
Oh, I experienced it quite well.
with fork and knife.
the the desserts wasn't as good as I'd hoped, sadly. It's so frustrating once you get to top tier dessert, which was Japan, and then you go
Yeah.
elsewhere. It doesn't work.
Japan is ridiculous. I don't know how they're not all fat there.
I would be.
Everything is so good.
It is the best food ever.
Every day, I just get like the cakes and the pastries and the freaking like everything. It's like my breakfast was like cake.
Yep. I remember just bringing just boxes of cakes into my hotel, and the girl at the front would just laugh every time she'd see me. I gave her one at one stage, and she was like, "Oh my god!" She was awesome. Now, the other thing I didn't know about Malaysia is because they're primarily Islam religion, they have a thing where a few times a day, and I only noticed this at night because during the day I was out, but at night they would play chanting, religious chanting, on like a megaphone or something. It's brutal loud, and it goes for about, I think, 3-5 minutes, and then they stop for about half hour, and then on again. And this was always around, after 8 at night, so you'd hear it going to like 10 or 11, and then they'd stop. I might have exaggerated the time because I was all over the place, but that was around when I'd usually hear it, and a little annoying because it's really loud. So that's a thing that they do there. I don't know why.
It's probably a prayer or something.
Yeah, it is, but I just don't know why they need to let everyone know that it's happening right then and there. Maybe it's a whole area thing, like they... I don't know.
It's religion, bro. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
So, that was a bit annoying, for me at least, having to have this loudness coming from somewhere, considering I'm a person who likes quiet, so...
Like, for example, to church today, and one of my, it's not like a pet peeve, but my annoyance is like, I'm sitting, I'm comfortable, but in service, they have you stand up for this song, then let's sit down, let's sing a song.
What?
Let's all
That's
stand up for
Catholic?
prayer. No, it's Baptist.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
That is
sitting
so.
like,
That was such a weird thing to me because in my
Yeah.
church we never did that, and then I had to go to a Catholic funeral one time, and every time, man, it was sit up, sit down, or stand up,
Exactly.
sit down,
You're
stand
sitting
up,
like,
sit down.
what-
It's like,
I'm
holy
pretty
frick.
sure Jesus wouldn't mind if I just sat
Yeah.
down.
They do that
Within
in
your
the
view.
Greek Orthodox one as well.
Oh, yeah, I mean, maybe they're doing it to kind of wake people up.
Yeah,
Because you're
yeah.
sitting too long, you start falling asleep. I don't know, but
Well, it could
for
be
me,
a
I'm like,
formal...
I just want to sit.
It could be a formal thing, like, sitting down could be considered laziness when you're chanting the words of God or something.
Right.
Maybe, but it's a religion thing. Somebody came up with it, and it stuck, and it's been like that ever since. Because the Bible never says I have to stand up to
No.
pray.
I mean, I remember when they did it, when I went with my parents, I was sitting there, this is a while back, and then suddenly everyone stands up and I'm looking around like, what's happening? Mum goes, stand up. Like, what? Stand up. And after a while, they stop chanting, sit down, okay. A bit later, did it again, what? Seriously, this is silly.
Yeah.
I'm happy to
It
just
is.
stay standing.
I got so annoyed I just stopped doing it. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. I just sat there.
Yeah.
Well, if you're particularly not familiar with the church, or like, I'm trying to think, what's the name for, like, if you have a similar Christian faith denomination, there it is. If you're not familiar with how they do things in certain denominations, everybody starts standing up and you get real nervous. Like, is there a shooter? Did somebody come in?
What the hell?
You look around.
That's the first thing your brain goes to?
I gotta know things, okay? I don't want to be the only guy
Man,
sitting.
that reminds me that I saw the latest Avengers movie, and they had police standing at the entrance of every
What?
theater, just because of the friggin' mass shooting potential for the big movie. I actually I appreciated it because it's such an issue now in the
A
U.S.
mass
It's like,
shooting.
you know what? I'm okay with that.
I only heard
Yeah, it's
one time that
sad.
happened.
Batman, man.
Batman.
When Batman
Yeah.
came out, some dude shot up a
Yeah.
freaking theater and killed a
Yeah.
bunch of people.
It's sad that it's come to that.
It's insane.
I appreciate it too. They didn't have to do it at the theater I went to, but in my head, that's always a fear you
It
think
always
about.
is me too. On a release
Yeah.
night of a movie,
Mm.
it's always in the back of my head.
It's like you only need that one crazy
Yep.
guy that wants to imitate what he saw so he can get his 5 minutes of fame.
I mean, you could sort of understand if it happened at, a Twilight screening or 50 Shades. But
Listen, if I had to shoot up a theater, I'm not saying I would. So this is all hypothetical. I'm not making any threats. But if I had to do it at a Twilight theater, it would be a blowgun and it would just be full of glitter. I'd just be like, bam! You're a vampire. Bam!
you're a vampire.
Guess what? You're a vampire. Everybody gets to be
Everyone.
vampires. You know?
The reject
yes.
vampire.
Don't be walking out sparkling.
I think it took me about a week to just come to terms that the vampire in Twilight was just someone that sparkled. I couldn't understand it.
Hey, Batman's gonna be sparkling here soon too, so
Yep.
get ready.
Did you
I
hear
mean,
about
I never. I mean, like.
that?
I'm like whatever because it's like actors can play different roles in movies, So
Mm.
so if he does a good job, good for him. Apparently, he hated the freaking Twilight movie.
He
so,
trashes it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
But no,
Got his heart broken.
he's an awesome actor. If you've ever watched his normal movies, not Twilight, he's really, really stupidly good.
Right.
I think he'll be an awesome Batman.
I'm just to the point though where I'm like, we need a break from Batman movies. Like, just take a break.
Yeah, it's not like
They're just-
DC has to worry about losing their license. They own
Yeah.
it.
Pumping them out, and they're like always like half, like not good.
Focus on some other characters you have. You got lots.
Well,
No kidding.
and on top of that, like with that actor, I look at him, I just don't see Bruce Wayne because that guy looks like I haven't seen any movies he's been in recently, but just when I see, stock photos of him from red carpet events or something, he weighs like what, 180? That's not what you
Yeah.
imagine like a Bruce Wayne, somebody that's training to be Batman, the kind of build he would have.
He'd
So
be able
then
to,
they're like,
he could put that build on easy.
maybe, but you would think you want to kind of just get that effort on someone who's already kind of bulked up and prepared.
Well, I mean, look at Thor. Have a look at photos of him just before that movie. Night and day.
It's crazy what they can do when you have a personal trainer. Whew.
Hey, maybe they're gonna kind of CGI the bulk on.
Well, the suit's always
I mean,
a little...
they
Man,
did a good job with Superman's mustache. So
No, they
No, they
didn't. That was
didn't.
horrible.
It looks
Shut
so
up, they did.
hilarious.
they did a great job. You leave him alone.
Every time he came on, I was like, his lip looks a bit longer than normal. I'm confused.
I can't believe. Oh, the amount of pressure they must have been under, because it takes so long to do a
Oh,
good,
I'm sure, yeah.
graphic effect like that, and then they're like, "This movie's coming out in 6 hours." Oh no, gotta get rid of the mustache.
Just shave it off and put a fake one on. It's not hard.
And the funny thing is that at that time it happened, and of course critics are going nuts. I saw a YouTube video of somebody who did the same effect on their home computer, but they did one of those deep fake techniques. And then they compared it, and like his deep fake looks so much better because I
Yeah.
don't know whatever AI it uses or algorithm, whatever. It could do the job better than whatever artists they had to rush to get that lip to work. It was incredible. And to think like, man, he did that on like a $2,000 computer versus a studio that's worth
Billions.
$2 million. Yeah, it's just unreal.
It's funny.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is weird how amateurs sometimes do better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to
I
call
agree
him an
with
amateur,
Austin.
but I mean,
Well, yeah. I'll say I agree with Austin, though. I think we could use a break from Batman. Even if it is like one of those movies about Bruce Wayne becoming Batman. We've had those movies before. Batman Begins already covered that. And then there's Batman Year One, the animated movie. It's done that too. Why do they need something
Yeah.
again and again and again?
I'll tell you why. Money.
Money!
And I mean, a lot of their better characters are kind of tied into the CW movies, TV shows. So I think they don't want to, double up
Yeah,
on
they're
that.
trying to link them all together.
I'm so frustrated with the Birds of Prey TV series. I want to cry. Stupid. I saw a quote yesterday for it, since it's coming out soon, and the actress playing Huntress, who is my favorite DC character, and she's like, "Yeah, I play this assassin." I was like, "Wait, what'd you say?" Because it's really I think she said wacky and weird, and I was like, those are two words I would never use with that character. I hate you all.
I'll tell you, let's make something fun, okay? We got all three of us, and we know this Batman movie's coming out. So they haven't announced what the villain's going to be. So keeping in mind all the villains they've had in the past movies and what category villains are available for them now, and the fact that the Joker movie's coming out this year, so they're obviously not going to use the Joker.
Yeah.
Who do you think?
Say that?
I say that. I want everybody to take one guess on who they think the villain's going to be, and we'll see who guessed right,
Well, they
or at least the
could
closest.
They could link it with that Joker movie.
They could, depending, I guess, on what type of theme the Batman movie's going for. Is it going to be as dark and gritty?
Yeah, I don't know.
We haven't seen the Joker movie yet either. It might suck, so they might not do it, depending if it doesn't perform well.
The
If it's
trailer
not
looks awesome.
Joker.
Yeah, the
then
trailer
I'll
does look good.
Yeah. If it's not Joker, I'll say it'll probably be multiple. It probably won't be just one. So,
I'll let you have it if you can get at least one person of the multiple in there.
maybe Penguin. Man, they haven't done a good Mr. Freeze, They have not done a good Mr. Freeze. That would be an
Aye.
awesome villain.
Arnold was legendary. You take that back.
Oh, I mean, it's a fun movie, but man.
It was Ice Seal.
I can't believe I saw that at the cinema. My friends dragged me to it. They're like, "Let's watch this." I don't want to, and then we did go, and then nobody wanted to after that.
Yeah.
So you're guessing maybe Penguin or Mr.
Penguin
Freeze?
or Mr. Freeze.
Okay, so out of those two, who would you pick for your nomination?
I mean, I'd prefer Mr. Freeze. Like a proper.
Okay, so you're hoping for Mr. Freeze. Okay. Con, how about you?
I'm gonna go for one that they haven't really done, because supposedly it's meant to be in the period where he's just getting used to. So I don't expect it to be like a big supervillain type level. I'm thinking it's going to be on par with, say, like maybe Two-Face or someone slightly under the radar.
Okay. Do you think it may be Harvey Dent?
Maybe.
Because I mean that would be pre-Batman. Two-Face happens during Batman's. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the writers. They may not keep
what
to
would
the
be
timeline.
amazing if they did it right? The ventriloquist. If done right, that could be so good.
With his puppet.
The Puppet Gangster. Yeah, that would be good.
I don't think they'd ever do Mad Hatter though. It's just too. He's too freaking
Goofy. In a sense, yeah. See, that's why I don't think they'll do the Penguin either.
Yeah. I think they did the Penguin pretty okay in Batman Forever, but it was still a little hokey.
I thought they did him well in the Arkham games, but I mean,
Oh yeah, definitely. He's so well done in the Arkham games.
Yeah.
I mean, the Arkham games are better than any movie in my opinion.
They're good.
Yeah, it was done well.
Not all good.
So you think Harvey Dent? Is that right, Colin?
I mean, I don't expect him, but I'm saying it's going to be on that level. It won't be somebody, like super.
Yeah, I think you're right. It won't be any huge villain since it's a beginning or an early portion or whatever of his timeline.
They'll probably have little Easter eggs in there, like you'll see a Joker symbol thing, or something being spoken about the Joker in the background, kind of thing.
Right, I could see that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it won't be anyone big. It won't be like Ra's al Ghul or someone.
Would also agree. All right, so if I had to throw a guess, I think, without knowing the tone of the movie at all,
Yeah.
and I don't think they want to probably not use Joker, and they probably won't do Harvey, in my opinion, just because he was already in a recent Batman movie.
They didn't do him too well. I was a bit annoyed at that,
No.
but yeah, he was in there.
I think, given the catalog, if it's going to be like really superhero minded, maybe they'll do Clayface or something. Because
Man,
Clayface, he's a
that'd
bit
be pretty
strong.
good.
Clayface is a bit strong, but it could have a good arc with, that actor going through the same struggle or a similar struggle in his career, and maybe a tie-in with Bruce Wayne's early crime fighting.
Well, they are planning on doing a trilogy, so there's no reason why.
Guy?
He doesn't have to be Clayface in the first movie. He could be building up.
Mm-hmm. But you've got to make it some interesting. Like Batman's obviously got to have some villain to, battle against.
Mm.
But if they could do Clayface, that might be good.
It really would. Proper Clayface.
Mm-hmm.
Was he in a? I think he was made up for the cartoon series, but then became official afterward. I could be wrong, but it seems like
It's possible. Harley Quinn was
Harley
created
was,
that reason.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Yep.
who am I to say, no, that sucks? But if not that, it's going to be Calendar Man. So, or Condiment Man, Kite
What was
Man.
that dude?
Kite Man. He's the
There was a
best.
dude with a watch or whatever.
What is it?
Watch.
There's a guy with a
Oh.
watch. I don't remember what he was. He was like all
Oh,
about
no, that's
time and
the Time
clocks.
King. Yeah.
Is that his name? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Time King. He's a more goofier spectrum. Like, we'll just say he's insane, and that's why he's a villain. You can always do, or the Rainbow Raider. That's a good one.
I'm much
Like that
happier
guy.
with Kite Man. I want him.
Yeah, do Kite Man.
I love
It's
Kite
funny.
Man.
There's Batman Brave and the Bold. I know its art style's real childish, but I got the whole series for my kid to watch, and he likes Batman superheroes, and they actually did Kite Man. One of those episodes. They're like you can tell everyone thinks he's a joke, so they write him as such a joke too
Yeah.
for Batman to beat up. But
Oh, they'll be laughing last when he turns out to be a supervillain one day. Just you wait.
on his huge glider bomber.
It's gonna happen.
We should have never laughed at Kite Man. I didn't know the wind would blow in our direction.
His little legs wiggling in the air.
I'm Kite Man. Like, you can't hear him. He's too far up, so he's giving a big speech. No one knows what he's saying.
It could be so dramatic. Everyone, they'll be sitting there and suddenly small little shadows. You think it's like clouds, and then suddenly there's more. People look up. All these little kites in the air, and they all start dropping grenades. And oh my god! And then, like, Independence Day style kite. Huge.
Blowing up the White House.
Oh, man, he'd be awesome.
You know what? I probably would just go see that movie for it.
I would
Like,
buy
if
that Blu-ray.
they took that idea, they owned it, and they ran with it, I'd be very interested in seeing what they did.
Every time he needs to escape, squirrel style, sticks out his arms, kite, off he goes. Too good.
So, Austin,
Yep.
how's the Divinity 2?
Man, I'll tell you what. Like, I got the game a long time ago, and I just booted it up. Because, man, Baldur's Gate 2 is like one of my favorite games ever made. It's like legendarily amazing.
Did you play the enhanced version?
Yeah, I played enhanced version.
What do you reckon compared to the original?
I never played the original,
Oh.
so I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
That was my first foray into it. I played 1 and 2 back to back,
Mhm.
the enhanced editions, and I was just like obsessed. Like, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I couldn't stop playing it. And I'm like, man, Divinity's going to give me that same vibe. And I started it up, whatever, so many years ago. And I played like 6 hours of it. And I'm like, I guess I just wasn't feeling it. So I stopped. But I've been in this weird RPG mood lately. I played through Final Fantasy IX. Final Fantasy 7. What else? I started 12, but 12 kind of.
I could
annoyed me
never
out.
finish that one either.
Yeah, it was boring, man. The environments were boring. The characters were boring.
Everything.
So I beat these RPGs, and I'm like, man, what else should I play? And then I was thinking, oh, Divinity, duh. You haven't played. You should try it again. So I boot this up, and it's just like Baldur's Gate now. I can't stop playing it. I cannot stop thinking about it. It's like, just like it's very rarely will I get this addicted to a game, and it's got me hooked, man.
Yeah.
Freaking love this game.
Well, we're playing the first one at the moment. Really good.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, we should
I-
actually be
I
close
played-
to beating it.
I played a huge chunk of the first one, like probably at 40, 50 hours.
We're at 100 or so.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, like anything, it's a game that's got a ton of side quests, a lot of things you have to search and loot for, because you want to open like every barrel, every crate.
Yeah,
And then
yep.
the sorting
So,
stuff. You sit there sorting.
Yeah, the sorting and then like item management.
Yeah.
I spent like 2 hours like just managing items at one point.
I think we just
Insane.
we did like an entire day of just doing that, lugging chests from one location to another so we can throw this type of item in there.
We were very dedicated to the cause.
Hey, if you like these sorts of games, did you ever play Neverwinter Nights?
I started that up actually once and played the whole intro area. I don't know what I did. I kind of just drifted away from it. Never got back to it.
I never finished the first one, although people seem to like it. I just got
I
more
think it was
bored.
2 that I started. I never played 1.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 that I got.
2 is
started up.
amazing.
The intro's pretty freaking awesome.
The whole game is like that.
Yeah.
You give that another chance. I reckon you just
And I should, because man, I love, gosh, friggin'
isometric RPG.
the first Dragon Age Origins was like my first foray into it, and it's like the
Oh,
guys
really?
that did Baldur's Gate. I was like, this is awesome, but man, Baldur's Gate is just, gosh dang, that game's amazing. And the funny thing is, you guys may not know this. Larian Studios, the guys that made Divinity 1 and 2, their website, if you go to it right now, it just shows a 3.
Yeah, I thought it was going to
And
be.
so everybody's like, oh man, they're doing Original Sin 3, heck yeah. But
No.
people have dug into the freaking web page, and there's coding that says Baldur's Gate stuff in it.
Yeah.
And it's
I
like,
would freak
what?
out.
And it's like, these guys are actually the best company right now to handle another Baldur's Gate. I would like be floored if they actually are doing another Baldur's Gate game.
Get on the hype train then.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I mean, E3's next week. It's my favorite time of the year, pretty much. So
I had
Yeah,
no
on the
idea it was
topic of
coming.
E3. Yeah, E3 sneaks up on you if you're not paying attention, but like Sony's not even going to be there.
it's a weird E3.
Yeah.
EA
no.
is not doing a conference. EA is not having any presence there. It's kind of weird.
They might do stuff like outside their own show.
Yeah,
or
I
web
mean,
announcements. Or
yeah,
something.
Sony likes to do their like PlayStation Experience, so that might be what they're doing.
To be
Like
fair.
Nintendo did that one year too. Like they had a show in Japan. What is that, Space World or something?
Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah.
That's where everyone goes, so.
Yeah, Tokyo Game Shows are like pretty huge. But I mean, everybody ever since Nintendo did the Nintendo Direct, everybody's been jumping on that lately. So
Well, I mean, they realize that you get to 100% control what's happening.
yeah,
plus,
I mean, exactly. They
you
can
don't-
edit it.
Yeah, and they don't have that thing where, let's say, Microsoft is the first day, and then along comes Sony, they do something better, and suddenly everyone's like,
Right.
Microsoft was shit.
Yeah.
So this way, they just, there's no one to compare them to. You just enjoy it because it's happening.
I mean, that's true. You control the content, so you also control a portion of the reaction.
And you don't
If
pay
you have a
E3.
stage demo, then there's no chances of a technical issue in front of everybody, or
Which makes me sad because those are some of
Yeah.
the best parts of E3.
well, especially if something real cringy's happening, like
Exactly.
somebody's trying to talk, and they're like, "What is this guy saying? He sucks at this."
It's always cringe.
E3 cringes are.
I
great.
watched the notorious Konami conference yesterday. Oh my gosh.
bringing it back from life.
It's like what killed Konami, I swear. It was so bad.
They had a thing?
They.
That
Oh.
in 2010. I mean,
Oh.
Konami used to do press conferences, and
Mhm.
2010 was their last one, and I like, you should watch it. Watch the director's cut. It's just like cuts of like all the bad stuff.
I think I
It
did
is-
see that, yeah.
Amazingly bad. It's like a masterpiece because of how bad it is. It's insane. You couldn't like. It's like lightning in a bottle of bad.
It makes me so sad. I mean, they were like my favorite company for
It's
decades.
insane. It's insane
Like,
how they've
put
what they've
like
become.
this. Like some companies, they'll hire comedians,
Yeah.
for their shows. So like even if you're not watching it stream, like they still got to entertain everybody while they're still at the booth. So they'll hire comedians to give people stuff to laugh at, like while they're waiting and interacting, asking questions. Konami did that without paying anybody extra. They didn't realize they were doing a service that they weren't meant for. They entertained for all the wrong reasons.
It depresses me. I have all these ROMs from the Konami arcade games that I used to play on my computer. I've got the old PlayStation 1 and 2 originals somehow of theirs, like, Suikoden, Shadow of Memories, or Destiny, depending which region you're from, Silent Hill. All these, I love them so much. And then, they need to burn.
Well, they've really kind of stepped out of the video game
Yeah.
arena, haven't they?
Their
Like they're
money's-
more slot machine.
Yeah, they're
now.
all on the slot machines now. It's insane.
They make lots of money there. I understand. They had so many big name, not just there were big franchises we didn't know of, like Tokimeki Memorial and stuff like that. That Oni is in Japan huge.
Well, what happened is it's just the top people are just old men that are just completely out of touch with what's going on in the
I
world.
think they're just
just-
insane.
Completely stuck in their old ways.
That kills actually a lot of Japanese businesses.
Yeah, it
more than
really
people
does.
really talk about.
I
Because
don't.
look at like Sony's issues for so long. It was because of that type of mentality.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think
And then-
I subscribe to that reasoning, because if they were still the same as before, what is the reason for them not releasing games of the caliber and style of before, when that's all they did for like 20-30 years, and suddenly they went stupid out of nowhere?
They just like, they weren't changing with the times, and they weren't making money because of it.
I don't
And
know.
and I think honestly the biggest reason is they were treating their employees like garbage.
That's probably the
I mean,
main
that's
one.
why Ego left, Castlevania dude.
Mm.
Kojima left. It's like everybody's just jumping ship because they're sick of being treated like crap.
Mm.
Oh,
Like, they
I
got
mean-
no talent behind them now because everyone's leaving.
Yeah, and the thing about those is those guys are they are talented developers.
And they're
Somebody
veterans,
will
man,
poach
20
them.
plus
Yeah.
years.
Any company would be like, we would love to have you come work for us, even if it's just for Smash Brothers or something. Just come. Your name alone will bring in the audience. we need.
Exactly. I mean, that's why if the
But, like-
new Bloodstained games did so well with
I need
Kickstarter,
it so bad.
that's coming out in like a few weeks.
I'm so
Yeah.
glad I I backed that. It's actually a new game I'll be able to play on release,
Yeah.
because I don't get to play new games.
There you go.
But I was happy to go in debt for that one. It's happening. Oh, it's happening.
But you're talking about that old man Japanese mentality. I watch on lunch breaks a lot of YouTube, and I dig into like what happened to Sega during this and this period of time or something, and you hear a lot of that, of how like Sega of America or Sega of Europe is trying to tell Sega of Japan, like, this strategy is not going
Yeah.
to work. This price isn't going to work.
You hear
This
so
mascot,
much about the communication
Not
between the
physical. Yeah.
American branch with the Japanese branch. It's like they're so like at odds because they just can't communicate properly.
They're like, well, not only that, but you'll have like the CEO or president of Sega of America talking to Sega Japan. He'll be like, we have a manufacturer here in the States who can develop this chip. It's going to be great for the new console. This is how much it's going to cost. And then Sega of Japan be like, we got people in the home country we want to use. and they're much more expensive, and the shortages are going to be outrageous, and that's who we're going to go with because this is our mentality. And he's like, ah, and then sure enough, one train wreck after another decision.
Yep.
Yeah, you just got to be more flexible in that old mentality. I worry about Nintendo in that sense because it seems like the CEOs they had, at least for the last couple of generations, were creative developers who just, worked up into that position. But they always had that artistic creativity to them. And then you got this new guy, and you just look at him. He's that very stereotype. When you think of an old Japanese businessman, no smile, all suits.
Yeah.
He's got a sword in the office for employees to kill themselves when they bring failure. So like, you're like, oh no. So we'll see what they do. But they're doing really good with the Switch right now. But I know that's not his, his legacy. We'll see what he does on the next generation of systems.
Yeah. I mean, the Switch was all Iwata pretty much. He's dead now, but we'll see what the new head of Nintendo will do.
I hope the next system is at least powerful. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it will.
I think they are in their own realm. They don't care about the biggest and best.
They
They're
should.
just in their own little world. I mean, it works. Whatever they do works. The Wii U bombed really bad, but the Switch is like killing it.
Well, the Switch, though, is just what the Wii U should have been. It's what everyone says, at least.
Yeah, the Wii
It's
U was
what
just
it
one of
should
the
have been.
biggest mistakes Nintendo's made since like the freaking Virtual Boy.
And the fact of the matter is, I know everyone talks about Nintendo's got lots of money. They can keep a failure. They can keep failing. That's what they were saying. At least with the Wii U.
It's not really
Like,
failing if they got lots of money, really.
It's like eventually they're gonna cut the costs. They're gonna have to pull the plug. They're not gonna collapse their entire business because of a console. If they have to start doing third-party crap or just focusing on portables, they will. But the Switch is one of those ace in the sleeves, one in a lifetime. It was their lucky recovery because
It really
had that
was, man.
system failed too for similar reasons, there probably wouldn't be another console. They would probably just go portable.
I think if the Switch failed, then they probably would go more modern, like the PS4 and the Xbox One. They probably would have just had to have.
I think they would have teamed up. I think they probably would have went with Sega, or
Yeah,
Sony.
maybe.
Because you just got to think, look at Sony and Microsoft now. They announced a partnership just not months ago for cloud, technology.
Yeah, that's insane.
Because they realize it's cheaper to work together on a unified platform than it is to try and compete with each other. Nintendo couldn't even get to that level if they wanted to compete. That's not their industry.
Yeah.
They don't have that cloud technology. They would have to partner with somebody. Between patents, development, the infrastructure, the crew.
It's crazy. It's like rumored that Microsoft won't even have a console anymore. They'll just do a live service on like Nintendo and Sony systems. Which is crazy.
They're testing that market now with their new system.
They're pushing that pretty hard already.
Only. That was the plan from the first announcement of the Xbox. The Xbox One, I should say.
Yeah, the Xbox One. That was such a disaster. That's why that conference cost them the generation. Like
it cost a lot of people their jobs too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I mean, look at the Switch now. We're using TeamSpeak. If you couldn't afford your own TeamSpeak server, you can use a free service like Discord.
Yeah.
These are voice chat applications that we take for granted on like a PC platform. Nintendo's solution for voice chat is to use your cell phone.
Yeah, they're so out of touch with the online scene, man.
Yeah,
they're out of touch with a lot of things.
You want to tell me that they're gonna okay, we have to make something like the PlayStation 5 on power level? Like they can do that? They would not have an online service for years after its release. They are just behind everything on that aspect. So
they really are.
It's only to their benefit they got lucky like they did.
It's just they got such friggin' creative people behind them. I don't think they'd do well otherwise.
Yeah.
Like if Miyamoto died, like man, they'd be in trouble.
Yeah, they would have to definitely work on getting some new names and fresh faces out there.
They'd definitely be screwed.
That's of course my opinion, but I just don't see how they could do it any other way.
Oh, they'd find something, I'm sure.
Well, they would try, but it all depends on the Japanese currency too. It's like when their economy is doing really well, it's when they hurt the most because that exchange rate. It's real weird. Like if the U.S. dollar is strong, Japan or Nintendo, profits really high. But then when you see like their profits are real low, it's not because their sales were bad. It's just because the Japanese currency is really strong right now. So
Yeah.
they're
It's
not getting an
annoyingly
equal
strong.
exchange. Yeah, so it's like when your country does best, you guys do the worst. How's that? I don't know much on economics, but that don't seem right. It's like the well's so full, we're all gonna drown. We're all gonna dehydrate. Like I don't understand. Just drink the water.
Come to my area. Our currency's gone to hell.
Yeah. You know, on that topic, I don't know. You might have known this, Austin, but I might have mentioned it before in one of the other podcasts. But we had received some donations, and as you know, I distribute those.
Right.
And I sent Con his portion, but in the comment section in PayPal, you can write a little message. Most of the time for like you, I'll say, Patreon payout or something like that, so you know what it is.
Right.
For Con, I put his money into the card or the transaction page, and of course it does the exchange, so it tells you like this is how much US dollars you're going to give, this is what it's going to exchange for, and of course his currency was low. So I left a comment. I was like, holy crap, you guys only get 75 cents to the dollar? What are you, North Korea? And then I sent it. PayPal immediately locked, chained, built a wall on that comment, locked. They stopped.
What? They moderate that? I didn't know.
They had like, I guess, an algorithm that just catches keywords. Since I mentioned North Korea.
Oh my god.
Because, America doesn't do business.
Right.
They're not allowed. So I mentioned it. Con never got his payment. Had to go on tech support every time.
Wow, that's insane.
Like,
just for my comment.
Is this money coming from North Korea? Is that correct? Like, no. Fucking use your eyes.
You guys can see it plain as day. It's America, obviously. He's making fun of me.
It was good though.
So yeah,
the guy I was speaking to, after he understood, he started laughing. He's like, yeah, okay, we'll put it through. And it took a couple of days, but still. He goes, maybe for future reference, probably not do that. Like, yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure $35 in North Korea would be a whole lot of money, but do you really need to stop that for an Australian payment?
Yeah, I guess there's certain things you don't do. Like when we were waiting for... Oh, this is back in the 90s. When it was really hard to get anime, we would have VHS tapes sent from country to country with, fan subbed anime.
Right, I bought it. I used to buy some fan subs in my day.
Yeah, and we'd do trading since, we used to run the club here in Screen, so we'd have stuff that other places didn't have, and, Anyway, we had a whole bunch come in, and because my friend had so many coming in so often, he got flagged, so they'd keep his stuff for longer or confiscate it, and he was working that day, and so he asked if myself and another of our friends could just go over there and see if we could grab it from them. And we went in, and we're talking to this guy in customs, and he was a right bastard. He had that sort of looking down on you, like, oh, everything I say goes kind of thing. It's very important what I do. And it seemed like he was starting to come around. And he said something, and my friend sort of joked, he goes, it's not like we got drugs hidden in the VHS cassettes. And he just stared. And we never saw those tapes again. I was like, good one.
Oh, no.
Certain things you just don't say.
Yeah. Like when me and Cody went to go visit Austin, we had to tell ourselves, like, listen, we like to have fun, we like to make jokes, but don't mention anything about bombs or guns or hostages in the airport. we want to make sure we get there. Because, I mean, you don't know who's got a sense of humor, who doesn't. While you're getting patted down, you might say a remark. Next thing you know, you're missing your plane and you're in some kind of room being questioned.
Or they say it in the passenger area on the plane.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, I've got a bomb. Ha 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 ha. Oh shit.
I said, I am the bomb. Oh no.
I am the bomb.
Sure, a lot of people with guns on this plane yelling at me.
We had a plane thing on the way back from my trip. We landed
Oh
and
yeah.
we were sitting there for like half hour. Still not, usually you wait a bit before you disembark because they're lining up the staircase or some shit. But it kept going longer, and then after a while, people just started talking, looking around, and then finally the stupid pilot decides to tell us there was a lady on board who was really sick and half passed out, and so they weren't letting anyone off until medical crew could go over and check her out and make sure she wasn't contagious. I'm like, well, thank you, we're gonna die now. I don't know, apparently she just had a slight cold and passed out. It's like, why were you on the plane, idiot?
Let me ask you something, Con. When you're on the plane and they land and you hear, the stewardess get on there like, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached our destination. Please remain in your seats until we have reached the on-ramp and we give the clear for, the unloading process.
Uh-huh.
Does everybody just immediately start standing up
No,
and getting their stuff?
everyone waits for the seatbelt light to pop up and then we all stand up.
Yeah. Nobody does that here. Nobody. Because
Well
that
done.
annoyed me so much when I would fly because they would say, like, please turn off your phone, which I do. I know it's not going to crash the plane, but I do because I just don't want to make a scene. It's like, it's no big deal. I can live 10 minutes without my phone until we're up in the air. But then they'll say, like, please remain seated. And as they're saying, everybody's getting up. And they're standing up and they're starting to get their overhead luggage. But guess
Unreal.
what? We're still being taxied. We still got 20 mints before we're going to get to the gate.
Yeah, it takes a while.
No point standing
So
up.
everybody's standing up and they're just getting so annoyed. Like, oh, I should have just stayed sitting. Like, yeah, maybe that's why they told you to stay sitting.
Stupid.
Like, you're just sitting there all comfy, and then everyone else is just like, oh, I can't believe I have to stand. Like,
Oh, our lot
so.
do one more. Before it was, just the phones you turn off, or an iPad or whatever you got in front of you. Now I've got these noise cancelling headphones. I usually put them on because they block out most of the noise, but the compression in it doesn't make your ears pop when you're going up and down. It's really cool.
Okay.
So I put them on, and they come up and go, "No, you can't wear those." I'm like, it's okay. They're not turned on. There's no wireless signal or whatever. They go, no, you can't have it on. And I say, reason? They say in case something happens, it's loose. It can become a hazard if it flies or something. I'm like, okay, I accept that, but that's also stupid. It's very tight on my head. I need it for this reason. No.
I would almost think it'd be like so you can hear announcements in the case of an emergency, but if that's the excuse.
Yeah, it's the reason why I had to put my bag into the overhead compartment, even though I was like, dude, her purse is bigger than the bag I'm holding. And the guy's like, I still need you to put it up. And I just stared at him for a little while, just so he understood. And then I did it because really, what am I going to do?
Yeah, they're going to just escort you off the plane.
Yep, I don't need that. I can just, stand up once we're in the air and take it back out again.
Never had any major issues on planes, thankfully. Bus riding, though. Woo! I've had some doozies.
Yeah.
Cross-country bus rides.
I tried
You
to
sat on
avoid
the
them.
floor on one of them, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to sit on the floor for hours in one of them. They're like, the bus is full. And I'm like, well, I paid for it, like, months ago. So, and he's like, well, I guess you can sit on the floor. And I'm like, well, that's the only way I can get home, so I guess I will. I can just be stranded here or sit on the floor.
I'm shocked they let you.
Like, they
Yeah, I
would
don't
know who
know.
paid, right?
That's
They
dangerous.
would know.
Yeah, I don't freaking know, man. I have no idea how that works. How would you oversell tickets like
Yeah.
that?
Like, I've seen movie theaters do it, where you like, all the seats be taken. Like, why'd you guys
That
sell
happened to me in a
tickets then?
theater. I had to sit on the floor and at the Mummy too. I had to sit on the floor for half the movie.
Aren't the tickets like number seated?
Yeah, you'd think.
Well, not all theaters. Sometimes they just, like, it's a free range. You sit wherever you can, wherever there's a seat. Now, some of the nicer ones, yeah, the ticket will have a seat number on it, and that's your seat. But there's like at least two near me that they don't do that. You just buy a ticket and you hope you can find a good seat. And I know when the Avengers came out, my brother went to go see it in town, and it was opening night, and he buys his ticket, walks in. There's people standing because there's no seats, and he's like, "Oh, I guess I'm
It's
standing
ridiculous.
too."
Well done, cinema.
I'd be
Greedy.
like, "No, you go get your money back, and you get
Yeah.
go see it tomorrow." Like, I ain't gonna
Man,
stand.
one of the most horrible experiences on the bus, though, it was no one that was able to sleep. This lady's daughter was just screaming the entire night.
Jesus.
Just screaming. Everybody in the bus was like yelling at the lady. Like, for God's sakes, woman, shut up! Ah, no one slept the entire night. And
How
the
old was
mom's
this
like,
kid?
I don't know, like 2 or 3. The mom's like,
Oh,
but she wants to run around. And one dude's like, just let her then. Just let her move. Just let her run around. And so she did. Oh, it was such a miserable ride. And oh my gosh, I think that might have been the same one where our bus driver was falling asleep at the wheel.
oh, oh no.
We're like, everybody's just on their feet, like yelling at our bus driver to keep him awake so we didn't die. It was a great ride.
Sounds like a few tiger knees were needed on that bus.
Gosh, man.
Now, it was years and years ago, but I remember one bus driver, like, news came out, like, he got fired because he was playing his PSP.
Champion.
Everyone's like, we don't want to die, get off of it.
I avoid
Just-
buses like the plague, but I had to get on one in Malaysia on the holiday, and there was this one guy sitting, to the left of me, one forward. It was an older couple, and we stopped at a break point because the trip to the place we were going was like 5 hours, and we get there, everyone gets food, and then they eat. It's 20 minutes. We only get back on the bus, leave. This guy and his wife brought back KFC with them. So of course the bus smells of KFC now, and you're thinking, oh, I wouldn't mind some of that. And they're eating with both their hands, so it's really gross, like completely slimy and shit everywhere.
Ew.
And they reach over, they grab their drink, which is a large bottle of something, open it up, and that's all coated in slime now. And then they grab that, those pockets on the seat in front of you that you can store things in. They grab that, hand and all, open it, slide in their disgusting bottle, and then when they're finished, they're rubbing their fingers, their hands together, and then you see the rub on the hand rests. I was like seizing up. I was like, oh, what's happening over there?
It's like an episode of Twilight Zone for germaphobes.
Good lord, no kidding. I had a dude fall asleep on my shoulder, too. I was,
They gave us a
Head's
blanket.
just on my shoulder. It's like, okay.
I used the blanket to
I
drag
wouldn't
over
even-
the chair so I wouldn't touch it.
Oh, man, I'd be almost afraid of the blanket. I'm like, I wonder how much lice is in this thing.
I kind of smelt it
They-
first, so it was clean.
Oof. It's like a motel,
Ugh,
You're,
never.
you're there because it's cheap. And that's what bus transportation is.
Well, the
But God,
hotels.
don't ever turn on a black light. You'll regret every decision.
Right. Thankfully, the hotels over there were cheap, so I didn't have to stay in a motel like my friend did. I was paying like I think $90 for a 5-star hotel, and he's off spending I think 10 for his little shared accommodation hostel thing. And he'd complain that everything was really loud and people were always talking and there's no room and stuff. And I'm sitting there in the biggest room I've ever been in. Had its own living room, its own kitchen. It had a washing machine. it had its 2 bathrooms. I was like, oh, which room should I just lie in this time? There's TVs everywhere, it doesn't matter. There's even one in the toilet, just sit there watching. It doesn't matter. I was loving it. Glorious.
Oh.
I'd say go, but that's a stupid long trip for either of you.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of long
Yeah.
trips, I have
It'd
to
be different if
suffer.
I was fishing more like in the middle of the country, but I'm not.
Well, I have to suffer a long one again, having to go to Greece in August to pick my mum up.
Oh, you're going to Greece again, huh?
Only for about 11 days. Mum's leaving in 10, 11 days, something like that. And then I go in August to bring her back. So I get to see my grandmother at least while I'm there. But I don't want to go, but I have to. Thankfully I'm not paying for it. Not like I can. Look at my credit card
Well,
yesterday.
yeah.
Eh,
I owe like
let's go there and eat the
2.5
grate.
grand.
Ooh. It's a wrench feeling, isn't it?
I try to ignore it. It's there, but I ignore it. It's like, no, not looking at you. I know I owe money on my credit card. No, here's your minimum amount each month. Sure, you take almost all of that back in fees, but I'm not looking at you for now. It'll fix up one day.
Ugh. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about, or do you feel pretty good
I think
about...
we should probably wrap it up here in a bit. I gotta
Alright.
pee.
That's
Well,
fine,
we
that's
can
fine.
always pause while you pee.
I mean, we've been going for...
I think
Man.
we almost got about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe closer to an hour and 45
Well,
after editing.
I guess we can finish it off by my last story of what happened
Okay.
just a few days ago.
Sure, go ahead.
We were sitting there eating, and I heard this massive scraping sound outside. It was getting louder and louder, like metal on something. I was like, what the hell? And it got so close that it was that weird loudness where you get really uneasy and uncomfortable, kind of worried. First you hear it's like nothing, and suddenly it's like, what the hell is that? Look outside, and there's this pickup truck that just finally stops across the street. Their front tire had been completely ripped off, and the idiot had gone all the way down the entire road before finally deciding to stop. So all the neighbours, who are bogans and loud, and I hate them all came out because they can't function unless they're around people, because they have no hobbies. Dead life. I hate them. And they come out and like, oh wow, are you okay? What happened? Duh. You know, they ask that 100 times, are you okay? And then they stay out there chatting with them while they're waiting. Were you drinking? Guy's like, no. He gets out, sits on the side of the road. Go, oh, okay, that's good. Did anyone call the cops? Yeah, the cops are coming. Well, good thing you're not drunk then, eh? I was like, I hope you all die. And because there's like 12, 15 of them out on the road, any car coming past is having to navigate around these idiots. They're all middle-aged people. I think 40 was the lowest age. Some of them are like mid-50s or mid-60s, and they're acting like stupids. So they're all there. Anyway, out comes one fire truck. I'm like, what? It should be a tow truck. Another fire truck. Police car. Another police car. Just sitting there watching them. They're looking over the car to make sure it's okay. Then they're talking to the driver. And after a while, they put him in the back of the police car. It's like, oh, okay, he's being arrested for some reason. And they're all being all nice to him and stuff. Like, you shouldn't have been nice to him. Clearly there was something wrong there. He was either was drunk, but wasn't saying it, on drugs, or stolen car. That's all that was. And they were being nice and happy. Anyway, they took him off. Finally everyone leaves. They leave the truck there. And once the road is all clear of idiots, I leave because I was heading over to a friend's house. And just down the road at the T-junction, there's this other car. Its whole side has been crushed. The tire that the other car had lost was there. So they must have smashed into them and then tried to escape one tire less and realized they couldn't do it.
A hit and run.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I think the car was stolen. So
Oh, sheesh.
it's pretty funny.
That's so ridiculous. Okay, hey, the kid's crying. Give me a minute.
Alrighty.
Heard that.
He has to run, so you have to hold your pee a little bit longer.
Guess you gotta edit this part out.
Yeah.
Wait for Jed.
Wait for Jed. I got in that, Star... Oh, I think it's called Battleship Yamato, the spaceship one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the anime?
Yeah, they did a remake of it some years back. I think 2013 or something. I always avoided it because I heard someone say, it's just a remake and it's not meant to be that good. Meanwhile, everyone is saying it's glorious. So I bought them recently. Need to rewatch them just because all these remakes at the moment are really awesome, like the JoJo remake, the Galactic Heroes remake. They're so good. So I was like, you know what? I'm doing this, and I got it, and it looks so good. And they bring out a new series in a few months. The second part of the story. So that's amazing. Still going. I'm very happy. I also got that. I think I showed you a picture of my model Yamato.
Did you put it in the? I think I saw it, yeah. Oh yeah, it was huge. Yeah, I did see that.
I did one picture, but I haven't uploaded the video yet. It's so cool. It's got a little remote thing, and you can move the guns, and there's voice tracks.
Holy
and
crap!
wave motion.
That's crazy.
Cannon lights up and everything, and the engines light up, and there's talk. It's brilliant. I'll upload that video, and you can look at it. It's so good. I love it. I want to kiss it. Yeah. So I was going to say my little cat story before it ends. It's very simple. It was like 5:30 in the morning. I was going to the kitchen to put my stuff away, and I hear meow, 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 like that loud, that frequent. I'm thinking, what the hell? Go to the front door, open it. Cat darts in, meowing non-stop. I'm thinking, something wrong? I haven't heard her do this before. And I look over. She drops something on the floor, and then looks back at me as dead mouse. So she was meowing that loudly with a mouse in her mouth. So it brought me a gift. I was like, yeah, good for you. Thank you for that. Bag, throw it out. Thank you, cat. Third time it's done that. I guess she likes being here. Oh, speaking of, she's up now. Good kitty. Yeah, that's right, you're a stray. I had to adopt you, otherwise you'd be put down. Could have picked a different house, couldn't you? Good kitty. Anyway.
Nice.
So yeah, that.
Do you get mice in your house?
Not in. I don't know where she found it,
Yeah.
but she brought it back, so she's sharing dinner with me. Don't have the heart to tell her I'm not eating it.
Well, I guess we should do our exit.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for listening, guys. That was a pretty... I don't know how long it was. Thank you if you stuck around.
It's long, but it was our first in forever.
Yeah.
More
Been
will
a
come.
while.
And yeah, look forward to actual proper streaming from all of us. Battlefield.
Yep.
Battlefield. the new one.
Battlefield, yes, that's going to be coming up soonish. We hope.
Well, once we get some money for Jed to buy the game, because
Or will the Origin Pass, at
yes,
least.
need that for sure. We're all poor. I'm in debt.
Well, we'll try to do one next month too, or that's what
Yeah,
we're-
sure. We'll
what's
start
our
doing a
podcast
monthly.
code? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
start doing one next month. And we'll have more shenanigans to share, I'm sure. I'll have probably some stories from my new position to
Oh,
share.
yeah.
Because,
When's your
there's
new
gonna be all
days
kind-
switch in? Or
they're in
these-
effect right now, but the training can be 3 weeks or 6 weeks. It just depends on how I progress.
But it'll be
So-
these days off, right?
Yes, I'll have. It will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Alright,
off.
because like Sunday for you now, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, currently
So it won't
it's
be these
Sunday.
days.
It's truly Monday because it's 2 a.m. So, but
Right, so
we'll get
Tuesday,
it worked out. We'll get it figured out. Everything's gonna be fine.
and we'll get our gaming sorted and online, and we'll have content again.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll catch you next
thank
week
you.
or next
All right.
month.
Goodbyes.
Next month. See you guys later.
See ya.